The thing is, with every other alternative, you're going to come across that cost.
No one deserves this fate.
The morning stream.
On that note, hey everybody, welcome back. Haven't heard from Fletcher in a while. I reached out to him the other day just to check, see if things were going all right. He's just real busy, that guy.
He is, yeah.
Busy-
His
busy boy.
tweets and his Facebook post. He had a lawnmower and bee incident, and
Yeah. He's got a daughter who's off to college now, I think, or getting ready to,
Yep.
and just all adds up, man.
it does.
It's the way of the world. Anyway, we may hear him on Film Sack again someday. That would be my hope and my dream.
Always
Always
is nice. Yes.
Check this out.
With the computer, as with any tool, the concept and direction must come from the man.
If you're hungry for technology news, I have great news for you. The guy that just entered the room from his brand new LA place. It's Tom Merritt, everybody.
Oh, hello, Scott and Brian.
Oh, man, look at
Hello.
you. You know what I like?
Wow.
Tom's got
Look at
this
this. I like
new-
this even better. The tech.
Yeah, old
Oh,
tech
yeah.
behind him. Look at that. We got a Commodore 64
Slowly
over there.
filling in.
Yeah. What's
My-
this?
My first computer ever, the TN-9948.
Ah.
Got a Commodore 64.
Yeah. You hung on to all of this, I take it? These are all your original bits?
Well, the TN-9948 is actually one I sold that one to a couple in Ramsey in like 1984, but this is one I bought at a Goodwill in Austin in the 90s, so I reacquired it. That is in fact the original Commodore 64.
I want to sell something to a couple in Ramsey. It sounds fantastic.
I hope it served them well. You know, it was funny. It was one of those situations where I put an ad in the classifieds and they called me on the phone and then came by to our house to see the computer.
Whoa.
Sure. Yeah. I mean,
Weird.
Yeah.
Don't do that stuff anymore, do we, very much like we used
Not
to?
so much,
No.
yeah.
Well, it's always a pleasure on Wednesdays to have Tom here. He brings all the latest and greatest in technology talk for the Daily Tech News Show, which comes later. So you're deep into research mode this morning. What's top of the walk for technologists everywhere?
Well, folks, our long national nightmare is over. Sony will allow cross-play platform Fortnite.
What? That's crazy! It's gonna
Let me say that
happen.
again. Sony will allow cross-platform play
Yeah.
on Fortnite.
Wow. That's
Sony Interactive Entertainment President John Codera said the first step will be an open beta starting now that will allow for cross-platform gameplay progression and commerce across PlayStation 4, Android, iOS, Nintendo Switch, Xbox One, Microsoft Windows, and Mac.
only that, though, right? No talk of letting other games that may Warframe, for example, very popular cross-platform game.
I mean, they didn't say they wouldn't either, but yeah, no, they made no mention of anything but Fortnite.
It's crazy when the most money-making juggernaut title, maybe of all time, that's enough to get a big juggernaut hardware maker like Sony to budge.
Now, Fortnite is it's solitaire, right? For
Yeah, it's
millennials?
solitaire. Exactly. Millennial solitaire.
No. Fortnite is when you spend the night in a fort.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Oh, what a boring game that sounds
Yeah,
like.
the game is just you asleep in a fort.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
But cross-platform play is actually a good thing. I think this is where games are headed, period, like just straight up, and I think Epic's got the right vision here, and they have the heft and the money and the push and stuff to actually make it happen, and clearly this is an example of that. Sony was really the final one to cave on this. The bigger question for me is whether or not smaller games, smaller experiences, games like Warframe, which are not currently cross-platform but would like to be, will they have that option or not, or will they continue to be sort of closed out?
Yeah.
More than that, even, will it eventually get to a point where let's say companies like Blizzard would like to have their PS1 or their PS4 and their Xbox players playing together? I understand why they don't want their PC players playing with them for competitive reasons, but having as much of that as possible across the board seems like a good plan for everybody.
Well, explain the competitive reasons. I think I know what you mean there, but for the sake of all of it.
Controllers versus keyboards and mice.
Well, there's another story out today that Microsoft is enabling keyboard and mouse support for the Xbox One.
See, I knew you were going to do this. Yeah, it's good too because that's a if anything, it confuses things a little bit more or makes it a little bit more muddy. The truth is, Epic has been asked since day one, how do you think that it's possible that a PC player of Fortnite and a iOS player of Fortnite are going to be on equal ground? It's not physically possible for them to be on equal ground. Right. And the truth is, that's true. It's not. Yeah. But they don't care because the point is...
At the level most people play, it also probably doesn't make that much of a difference.
Probably
you're not talking about, running an esports tournament for the majority of users.
Yeah, they do not care about that. And companies, well, at least the stated reason from other companies, including Blizzard and the Overwatch team, has been they do care about that. They don't want that to be a thing. In the past, Call of Duty's been the same way. Other games have said, we don't want to mix those two because you end up with a problem. Well, Microsoft's like, we're going to have support for keyboard and mouse anyway. So maybe, and then
the key is it's enabled by the developer. So Microsoft's just providing the infrastructure to say, okay, the Xbox can now support keyboard and mouse. We got a cool deal with Razer so they can take advantage of Chroma, but the developers will have to turn it on. It won't be on by default. So if the developer feels comfortable with it, then they can turn it on. If they don't, like you're describing, then they don't have to.
Right. So that'll be interesting to see. Like in the Fortnite case, they will support that. I guarantee that'll get supported. I keep using Overwatch because it's a good example, but if Overwatch players on the Xbox, I would be surprised if Blizzard, maybe after some pressure from players, but I would be surprised if they just outright enabled that. I think that would be a little bit weird for them, despite the fact that on PC you can play with a controller with Overwatch. It's just that why would you? Do you know what I'm saying? It's this power dynamic of the PC elitists who know that keyboard and mouse is a more accurate way to play these games, and they will own you.
I have played the barest minimum of Overwatch that allows me to say I've ever played it on both console and PC, and I can tell that even at my horrible skill level, I'm much better on a keyboard than I am on the controller.
Yeah, there's a reason the esports pros play on keyboards and mice. Like, if it's a game that's only ever on a controller, then that's why they play on those. So it could get real weird and muddy for a bit, and I'm 100% cool with it. I love this shakeup. I think this is great. It's interesting to watch. But from the perspective of a player, if I'm serious about Fortnite, I'm playing it on a PC with a keyboard and mouse. Not just because PCs are cool or I got a better graphics card or any of that. It's just I would rather be able to compete and know that I'm not just going to get demolished constantly. If I play on a phone,
it depends on the level that you play and the game you're playing.
Right, and it's almost like a metagame on the phone. When I get in with a phone, and I've done this, I go in with no expectation of winning. I go in with a slight expectation that I might get lucky. And that's a different game. That's a different goal.
Wow. Sounds like me in college.
I'm going in with the expectation I'm going to get lucky.
Slight expectation.
Slight is the operative word. Yeah. Anyway, well, that's all very exciting. Very gamer. That's good gamer news for people.
You know what? Let's go ahead and complete the trifecta because IGN got Nintendo to tell them that they will not be deleting your saved games the minute your Nintendo Switch Online subscription expires if you don't renew it, which was kind of the way the FAQ read before. And Nintendo says, no, we're going to keep it for 6 months. If you resubscribe within 6 months after letting your subscription lapse, all your save games will be there. You can't access them if you're not subscribed, but within 6 months, they'll still be there. So it's not as bad as a lot of people thought.
I read that this morning, and I meant to go check and see what Sony and Microsoft's policies are, and I don't know what they are. I don't know if they're similar, if they have a time thing, or if they just hang on to them. PC games often, World of Warcraft will just keep it in perpetuity. If you haven't played since vanilla back in 2004 and you start a new game
they just
today,
leave it there. I know.
It's all there. Your stuff's there. So I don't know why the policy. I mean,
taking up all that server space.
Man, okay, people. Just because I didn't say something doesn't mean that's not true. And I don't mean to pick on you, Lesarge. But you're not the only one. So saved games don't get saved locally? No, the whole point of Switch Online was that they were only saved locally up until this point.
Yeah.
And now you can save them in the cloud. What we're saying is, if you've saved them in the cloud, they will still be there 6 months. Your local save stuff is still there.
Yeah, it doesn't go anywhere. Yeah. That's that probably, if there's any confusion out there about that, is because it seems for lack of a better term, it seems obvious that that's the case. But like Lesarge, and maybe there's others who are like, wait a minute, does this mean we're moving our saves? So Nintendo probably has been bad at the language across the board on this.
Yeah, let's not blame LaSarge. Let's blame Nintendo.
Yeah,
I think
Nintendo.
that's fair because they should be making that clear.
Yeah, and this is also their first foray into this kind of thing. I just finished my first 7-day trial with this.
Also, LaSarge is like, I don't know anything about Switch. I don't have one, and I never will.
But look, but think of it
That makes
like
perfect sense,
Steam
though.
does it this way. The
yeah.
consoles do it this way. It's also a relatively new thing to have cross saves, and it's also not guaranteed per developer. There are plenty of Steam games I don't have cross saves on because they don't support it in the small game I'm playing or whatever. But the implication that they would take them off right away is bad. The idea that they keep them for 6 months is better. The better idea, in my opinion, is to keep them in perpetuity so that if you ever get a hankering to get back on that Nintendo service, they're there waiting for you. Otherwise, they're not usable, so just make them not usable when you don't have the service. And when you do have the service, they're usable. Done.
Yeah.
I'm a little bugged by it.
I guess, it's the difference between Blizzard, which they run data farm servers for a living. That they don't have a product unless they're running huge data. So keeping that cloud data is not a big concern. In fact, it's probably arguable it's just as complex to get rid of it and have to run data purges and whatnot. Whereas Nintendo, this is not something they do. This is kind of a new deal for them, so they're being a little more conservative.
It's also a bit of a balance because if I see what they're doing. It's like, well, we'll hold it for 6 months, so you better get back in here.
Yeah, there's a business aspect to it.
So I understand that, but then on the other hand, I'm more likely to come back if I know the stuff's there forever. Because if I go back there the 7th month and I'm like, I think I'll come back. Oh, my saves are gone. Now, the beauty of it is, if you didn't delete those saves on your local device, they'll just resync and now they're up there again. So back to LaSarge's point,
right?
They're still there. If you've got local stuff, those saves they never went anywhere. They stayed. They're just not synced to a cloud somewhere where you could then use another switch.
Is if your device breaks or you're just moving to a different device, you got multiple switches, I don't know, that you could access all your saved games on all those devices without having to worry about it. Whereas if your device breaks and you only have local, well, then you're out of luck. You lost all your saved games.
Yeah. Also, when the Fox is making, I think it's a bit of a fallacy, the comparisons that he's making here. It says, Audible, keep your books for life with unlimited downloads, subscription active or not. Nintendo says, screw you. That's not how that works.
No.
Audible, you buy a book and you keep the book. The Nintendo thing, they give you access to these saves, but also this library of NES games. It's like a Netflix subscription. So nobody cancels their Netflix subscription and goes, I can't believe you took away all those episodes of Halt and Catch Fire. Like, no, that's the service. You either pay for the service.
Yeah, right. No, it'd be like I was halfway through, and you don't have my progress saved anymore. Like I don't know which episode I left off of last.
Right.
It's that kind of thing. Versus, if it would be as if you canceled your Switch Online membership and they got rid of all the games you bought, that would be the equivalent to Audible.
Yeah. Right now, Apple's under some heat, for example, for selling iTunes movies. I don't know how prevalent it is. I just heard about the one case, but old iTunes movies that somebody couldn't get to anymore.
No, it's FUD. The guy changed from Australia to Canada.
Oh.
There are certain movies that are region identified because they're different cuts for different standards in different markets. And so when he went to Canada, the Australian versions disappeared from his library because he's in Canada. If he were to switch his region back to Australia, they would still be there. It's probably a bug in the system where they just don't have that many people who do that. So it hasn't showed up as an issue much before. The only thing that Apple did wrong is their support person just told him, like, yeah, they're gone, when in fact they weren't.
Yeah.
It was just this kind of weird, like, well, you have a slightly different cut, so it's not really the same, and that's why it's not showing up. And if he had downloaded them, he would have them. So
have them locally, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, yeah, that was a region situation. It's not like he purchased them and they're gone. It's this weird thing that I think is going to go away someday. Where like, oh, but you were in this part of the globe when you bought it, so you can only access it if you're in that part of the globe.
Right. Also, so two things there. One, there's a whole other discussion to have about region locks and why they're stupid anymore.
Yeah.
But there's a whole other thing, which is use the word FUD, and I don't use it enough, so I'm going to hereby going to use FUD more. FUD's a great word.
Yeah.
Just don't bring it out enough.
It stands for fear, uncertainty, and doubt, of which there is more now than ever before.
I like a good little bit of FUD, so I'm going to use FUD more. Thank you for that.
Wait, do you mean you're going to use the word FUD or you're going to spread FUD?
I'm going to use more. I'm going to use the
why
word.
Does that have to be one or the other?
That's true.
I'm not going to spread FUD. I'm going to use FUD. I'm going to use FUD to describe other people's FUD that they are distributing.
If you're spreading FUD, does that make you a FUD raker?
Oh, good point. And if I neither take FUD nor leave FUD, how is that possible? Brian, how's that possible? I can't take FUD or leave FUD. Okay, you're not going to answer it? All right.
The plum. I'm done with the plums. No more plum.
YOLO. All right. Hey.
Trolley problem. I don't know.
What else? Anything else you want to mention before we let you go?
No, just you know what? Actually, I do. Just on the off chance that any of y'all out there are in the Los Angeles area, I am going to be at a conference about podcasting this weekend, and I'm going to be doing a little workshop on preparing content for your podcast. It's the Outlier Podcast Festival. My talk is on September 30th at 1 p.m. So you can check out all the details at Outlier CS. That's OUTLIERCS.com.
Yeah, look at this. If you're on the West Coast, you got podcast content with Tom at a live event. If you're on the East Coast or near the Ohio area, you've got podcast content from me. And if you live in Denver, you don't have to do anything. You can just sit there and do nothing this weekend.
Spanning the globe.
Tom Merritt, Ace Detect on Twitter. Don't forget to tune into the Daily Tech News Show today at 2:30 Mountain Time. DailyTechNewsShow.com for details. Tom, have a fantastic day.
Adios.
See you next week. Bye now. I'm not on there today. Roger makes us take a Wednesday off now.
Oh, Roger.
Yeah, once a month, everybody on the DTNS does not do one. So I don't do one today.
Okay.
Which is probably good because I have a lot to do today, and I appreciate the little extra time I'll have to do it.
Sure.
All right. Nicole's not here, but we play this in her stead. Okay, that song means normally Nicole's here, but she's not today. She's getting a hair appointment or something like that. Wasn't that the deal?
Yes. She's getting ready. They're getting ready to hit the road to go back out to Missouri, and she's getting her hair did today.
Seeing some family. So we are going to do this without her, and as a result, that's easy. So turns out Brian has a clip, and it's for a streaming thing that that's available on streaming. He's going to recommend it, but before we play it, is there anything you'd like to set up here?
Yeah, it's a longer clip than usual. I try to keep them to 40 seconds or less, but this one, I just couldn't find a way to edit it down and still have it as fun as it is. And since Nicole's not here, we've got a little extra time anyway. So roll the clip.
Here it is.
That's not it.
Oh, that's a song. Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that? Oh, here we
Mine
go.
is words and talking.
All right, here it is.
My old buddy, Tony Roundtree. Does anybody know Tony? Hosts a high rollers game every other month in New Orleans. Anyway, I knew him up in Detroit.
You from Detroit?
Me? No, I'm from all over, but I knew Tony Roundtree up in Detroit. This guy, he loved to play poker, but he kept dodging my invitations to play in the casinos. Apparently, Tony, he had a little bit of a gambling problem before I met him. You guys know about the disassociated persons list? You have that in Iowa? Okay, well, in some states that you can put yourself on this list if you're trying to quit gambling, right? Which means that you are legally banned from all casinos in the state.
For life.
For life, right. So you know what I'm talking about, right? Makes sense, right? Well, not to Tony. See, he puts himself on this list to show his girlfriend that he's serious about changing his ways. Well, a couple months go by and, of course, she dumps him for a guitar player.
It's always a guitar player.
It is always a guitar player, isn't it?
Why is that?
Nice hands.
Okay, is that... hold on, I want to guess at the actor there.
You can guess the actor, yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's Two Guys Pizza Place Deadpool guy.
Yeah. Why is the first thing you think of with Ryan Reynolds is two guys, a girl, and a pizza place? It seems like he's done so much more stuff.
He really has. He's had a career, but I always think of that or like that. What's that National Lampoon movie he was in? Van Wilder.
Van Wilder?
Yeah, I always think of Van Wilder. But anyway. So I have no idea what that is, though. He's kind of affecting an accent and stuff in it.
He has a little bit of a little tough guy accent. Yeah. That is a movie called Mississippi Grind. Okay. And it came out in 2015. As you can tell, it's a gambling movie, and it's very, very much in kind of the vein of Rounders and trying to think of another good example of a gambler goes kind of off the rails kind of situation. But basically, Ryan Reynolds plays a sort of a drifter who can read people really, really well.
A very handsome drifter, right?
Very handsome drifter.
Yeah.
And also is really good at gambling because he doesn't care if he wins or loses. He's just more in it for the fun of it and doing it. He has no stake in the game, which is interesting. The other person who you don't really hear in that clip is Ben Mendelsohn, who is freaking awesome. He's such he's becoming one of my favorite actors, kind of in the Sam Rockwell vein. He was in Rogue One, the bad guy in Rogue One.
Oh yeah, Ben Mendelsohn. We just saw him in
Ready Player One.
Slow West. I just saw him in. He's great. That guy's great.
Yeah, he's really, really good, and he's going to be in Captain Marvel, the next MCU film. Anyway, so the two of them is kind of this buddy gambling movie, and it's really, really good. It's a slow burn kind of movie. Like it's not action a minute. But you watch this, I think you watch something like this for the acting more than anything else, because it is really, really well acted. It's got like a 90% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's 7.3 out of 10 rating. It's on Netflix right now, and this is a good movie to watch if you have the itch. If you want to go gamble, boy, this is a good movie to watch to get that get that feeling. It's kind of watching Leaving Las Vegas before you're going to go out drinking with your friends. It's like, you know what, guys, I'll go ahead and be the designated driver. You guys go ahead and drink. I'm just going to sit and drink water for the next 3-4 hours.
Wow. Oh, there it is. Mississippi Grind 2015. There's a lot of good movies in 2014 or 15. Don't you think?
Yeah.
There's one in particular that's like the best ever, but yeah. Well, no, this sounds like my kind of deal, man. I'll watch this. This looks great.
It's also got Alfre Woodard, who I talked about a couple days ago, in that she's all up in that Luke Cage business.
Who's this? Yvonne Landry. How do I know her? Her IMDb photo makes her look very concerned.
Oh, let me. Okay, hold on.
You have to look at it. She's very concerned. Like, whoa, I'm concerned. She thinks.
Yvonne. Let's see.
Yvonne Landry.
Yvonne Landry has concerns.
Look at her. She is just like.
Why are you taking my picture for IMDb?
She is like seriously worried, but I guess that's a scene from something. Or
that's funny. Yeah, she. There's a lot of actresses and stuff in this that are in for just a minute. Like you don't see him for a lot. I'm trying to remember. I think Louise must be Jerry's ex-wife, but I'm trying to look at some of these other pictures. Yeah, okay, that's who she is. She just doesn't look just like that in the movie. But she does look concerned in the movie. I'll say that.
There's a bunch of people in here I like. All right, I'll see this. This seems like a thing to see.
It's a good thing to see. Let me know what you think.
I'm into it. I like that giant die on the cover. That's cool. By the way, that Mendelsohn guy he's exactly our age, and he looks a little older than us, so I feel good about it.
It's kind of funny because there's only one brief moment, or like less than a minute of them playing craps. It's almost all poker and horse racing. That movie poster's okay, but I think the one that they show on the Wikipedia page is a lot cooler. It looks more like kind of the style of the film, which is more of an indie. Here, I'll put in the Discord chat. You can look at that poster.
Oh yeah, that's cool. Oh, this other girl I like a lot. She was in The Walking Dead as one of the. She worked for the guy that had the lion. Can't think of her name.
Oh,
her name is Carrie Cahill, and she was Walking Dead. She played Diane, and she was on that. They carried around the spears and stuff.
Yeah.
Guy with the
full armor and stuff. Oh, right. Okay. Yeah,
she's great. I like her a lot. All right. Well, there you go then. Fantastic recommendation from Brian Ibbett. Where is it showing again?
Netflix.
Ah, good. Well, you'll be happy to know that I also dabbled in some Netflix this week, and I came away with something that I am completely enamored with, and knew I would be anyway. So it's kind of a no-brainer. But whatever. He's my favorite comedian. He's doing a new show. Here's a thing. Part of the trailer.
Do you miss cocaine? Oh, there's a dog on the set, Chevy.
I never went to a strip club.
Well, we got tonight. He's got a brain tumor. He's going to die. But he's, what the f***?
I sent all these pictures to Steven Spielberg of my daughter because she looks like E.T. You know who you look like? Brando.
Marlon Brando?
Yeah.
Towards the end. You've been thinking about your mortality a lot lately?
You can't run from it.
Ah, I was hoping you could. This is a question that's left over from another interview.
All right. It's
as soon as I saw this like coming on Netflix, I thought, all right, well, this will be a recommendal from Scott. As soon this will be a recommendal from Scott as soon as it appears.
Yeah, as Norm Macdonald has a show. That's what it's called. Norm Macdonald has a show, and it's okay. If you followed his podcast / video series that he did before all of this, it's that again. It's just with a budget and big time stars and on a big stage. And it's really the same. This Adam Egget guy who runs the Tempe Comedy Club is still his sidekick. He interviews people. In this case, like he started with, oh, my brain just went dead. Who played? Shoot, David Spade. That's who I'm trying to think of.
Oh,
David Spade is on there, and that was a really, really funny one. And there's just something about the way Norm does things. Letterman's producing this. He was also a guest on an episode and was fantastic. He had everybody from like Jane Fonda on, which was a very weird conversation, to M. Night Shyamalan talking about movies and stuff.
Wow.
Like a very eclectic sort of guest list. He had Chevy Chase on, who never does this stuff with anyone.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's interesting. Is that where Chevy Chase like completely ripped on Saturday Night Live?
Oh, yeah, he poops all over it in there for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. But he does say some nice things. He says, you know, he thinks Norm was the only other good news anchor.
Of course he's going to say that in front of Norm.
Yeah. So he did say that. He said something about
a single person on that show great since I left.
He said that nobody does the Live from New York at Saturday night thing right anymore, and he hates how it's being done. And he was real cranky,
really?
as he's known to be. He's a cranky dude.
Okay, I can't wait to see that.
It's good.
I want to know what the right way to do the Live from New York at Saturday night thing is.
I like it. There's been some controversy recently, though. Norm weighed in on thinking people have been too hard on certain comedians who were douchebags, and
the Me Too, right?
And I'm bummed about that because I don't know why he's even bothering talking about that, because I actually
why would you want to enter that battle? I don't
think Norm even cares. Like, I think he just likes to poke. He likes to poke, and his interview style is absolutely that. He's just poking at people. Like he asks, it was in that clip, but he asks Drew Barrymore point blank, "Do you miss the cocaine?"
Okay, that's good. I like that.
He asked Judge Judy's on this thing. She's also one of my favorite guests.
She's a guest, really?
Yeah, and she was fantastic on there. She is a spicy little number. And he says to her at the end, he goes, "I'm not even sure this is the right question to ask you, but it's the final question I have. What's next for Matthew McConaughey?" Like this out of the nowhere dumbest thing. And there's not a huge audience in there. It's just a group of producers and people. And there's something about limited laughter that makes me laugh. Like just insiders laughing in a small room.
Yes.
Michael Keaton's on, but I haven't gotten to that episode yet. So it's just this weird mix of guests. I think it's brilliant, and I hope it never ends. It's great. And if you like Norm Macdonald, you're going to get a big handful of Norm Macdonald. Now, if you're like, I would like to watch this with my 8-year-old and introduce him to Norm Macdonald. Don't.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
There's some stuff in there. If you want to hear Drew Barrymore drop F-bombs, great place to go. If you want to hear David Letterman drop an F-bomb, this is a great place to go for that.
Wow.
Yeah. You want to hear what else? There was something kind of weird. If you want to hear that Chevy Chase had sex with folk singer, who am I thinking of?
Bob Dylan?
Bob Dylan. If you want to hear that in a very excruciatingly explicit way, they talk about that a little bit. That didn't really happen, but it's a funny little thing.
Okay, good.
So you need to just watch it. I love it a lot. If you don't like him, then stay away because it's more of him, but I'm a big Norm fan. So Norm Macdonald has a show.
Are they half hour or hour long episodes?
They are half hour long each, and I want to say there are 10. I think. Cool. Yeah, so they're half hours all. And it's just the interview with these guests. There's no monologue, there's none of that stuff. It's a completely like different format than you're used to with talk shows, and I think it suits him just great. So anyway, check it out, see what you think. Also, it's weird that Norm Macdonald is 63 years old. Let's just freak out about that for a minute.
Yeah, everyone's got an age, Scott.
Yeah, but he seemed like he was a lot younger than that all the time. He never seemed older than like 35 to me, that guy.
Huh.
But I guess, time flies. All right. That's it for recommendals. Thanks everybody for joining us for those. And Nicole, we'll look forward to seeing you next week when we get back from everything that's going on. All right. A quick mashup, maybe. I got one about you in here. You want to hear this?
Oh gosh, about me?
Yeah. Well, it's part 5 of Brian Ibbott's impressions.
Okay.
There's 6 parts to this. There's still another part.
Jeez.
Yeah. So I'm gonna play it. Here it is. This is Brian Ibbott's impressions, part 5. Enjoy.
And now, Brian Ibbott does impressions.
All right, now I'm gonna grab this light right here. All right, time to take a quick nap. Does he have an accent? Is he talking like this?
No.
Here's your news about Bitcoin.
Yeah?
Yeah.
My name is Tom. Lots of students.
What?
Jack Tripper, what are you doing? Tell Chrissy and Janet and...
The way I think
I'm
it
not
is.
going to let one of them park my car at the valet stand, but it's perfectly all right for me to watch them get mistreated in a porno. Now I'm going to encounter some Jawas. Ooh, scary. Now a sand person is coming and waving their big Q-tip at me.
Ah, I don't want anybody digging through my shit.
Hey, Anakin, I will let your mother go if you win the Padres.
Like Cletus Slack-jawed yokel.
This is
Yeah,
the
we'll
part.
play me some Bohemian Rhapsody.
That's
What?
right. We're gonna sing bicycle. Yeah.
Looks like she's got some nice round teats. Her teats are really firm. Follow me into the bathroom and I'll show you my Lucky Charms. We got all sorts of new flavors, new marshmallows, pink sack. Oh no, we gotta help you, don't you know? That poor lady over there.
Yeah.
Why am I speaking Irish all of a sudden? I like Fishman. I put Fishman in every movie. Oh, you can't use that here. It's a whole different number. Zonkies, Fred. That old amusement park guy is gonna kill us. Zonkies.
To say it.
I'm Mulder Cronkite. What's up, television? Don't forget to mash and subscribe.
That's right.
That like button. I didn't like this movie because it didn't come with any deleted scenes. Your dog is gonna be eating your cake. You're gonna go home. You're gonna open the box. Cake is gonna be all over the place. The dog is gonna eat the cake.
Oh my lord, that was great. I don't remember any of it.
I was gonna say there are a couple there that I don't remember.
I don't remember most of it. But there you go. That's part 5. Part 6 still coming, guys.
Jeez.
Part 6. Okay, Brian, tell us about Coverville today. What's going on?
Today on Coverville, which is at 1 p.m. Mountain Time, at coverville.com/live, 2 birthdays we're celebrating. Olivia Newton-John, who is still alive and is, boy, she's gone through some stuff, that Olivia Newton-John.
I didn't realize. I'm curious
she
about
went
that.
through breast cancer, and I think went through a second bout of breast cancer, which I want to say is getting treat where she's getting treated for that right now. I need to maybe do a little research on that before the show. And then Mama Cass of the Mamas and the Papas, who did not die by choking on a ham sandwich. That's a myth. It's fake. It didn't happen. It's not real. So don't believe it for 1 second.
Okay.
Mama Cass would have been 75. Olivia Newton-John is 70. And today, music or covers of both of them, including some cool stuff from Matthew Sweet, Less Than Jake, Juliana Hatfield, who did an amazing Olivia Newton-John tribute album in the last year, and Storm Large, who, if anybody remembers that that InXS reality show, or it wasn't in InXS, they were looking for Supernova, but it was the second season they were looking for somebody to replace Michael Hutchins on InXS. That not making the band, Rock Band, I think it was what it was called.
I don't remember.
Anyway,
I forgot they did that until you just brought it up again. I totally spaced that was even a thing.
Yeah, she was a contestant on that, and she was great, and she does a great Olivia Newton-John cover herself.
Nice,
so
nice.
Lots of awesome stuff on that on today's episode. So stick around for that. Coverville.com/live, 1 p.m.
Nice. Sorry, while you were talking, I was looking for a way to go from the dark to light. I can't find it.
You mean other than going to preferences, general, clicking on light mode, dark mode?
Yeah, I was hoping there was like a shorty cut, where you could just
probably. I wonder if you can create one using the keyboard shortcuts. You know how you've got that keyboard shortcuts?
Oh, possible, yeah. I can't decide. I don't know what I like yet.
I know. It's almost like I wouldn't mind picking and choosing certain things to be in light mode versus dark mode.
Mhm.
I don't like iTunes in dark mode. It's so much harder for me to read.
Yeah, I don't like it either. I think it's a really cool feature. If there was a keyboard shortcut where I'd be like, oh, I'm doing this thing right now, so I would just like to quickly Command M or something or whatever it is and just do it. Maybe there is, and someone could tell me, and I'm sure there'll be some third-party app that'll do it later. But
yeah.
Anyway, it's a dumb thing.
Anywho.
It's a dumb thing, but I'm kind of into figuring it out.
It's funny that it is the thing that is touted first when Apple talks about Mojave.
Yeah. I think this scanning from my phone is cooler.
That's so much cooler. It's so much more
cooler, man.
So much more awesome.
Well, maybe that was there already. I just didn't know
news,
it. Or go ahead.
Just the fact that they've got an app. They've got the iOS app for news now. Okay, that's cool. Apple store looks different, or the OS store looks different, or whatever.
Yeah.
All right.
It's all small little tweakages. I mean, that's how these things should be. Probably. I don't need earth-shattering new OS features. Same with Windows. When they do new Windows versions, it's fine. Add a few things here or there. Keep it stable. Stability is my most important factor anyway. So it's fine. And it's free. Like, none of this is a problem. It's just It's funny to see them focus on. You can go dark, even though there were a ton of dark apps already and other things that made things go dark. Like it's just weird. Anyway.
I also, the dynamic wallpaper with the little sand dune that gets dark as the day goes by. Like it changes with the actual time.
Ooh, fancy.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, there's that. Hey, real quick, Bill Cosby went to jail for 5 to 10 years. 3 to 10.
He did.
Sorry.
Yes, but they're working on their appeal.
Now, that's a kid you want to freak out. You put a 12-year-old on a plane in 1984, and then you have him come off that plane in 2018. That story's not going to make any sense to that kid.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. He'll be just like, what? Who now? What? Even the president thing would be less shocking than that Bill Cosby deal. Anyway, hey, we're done. Thanks, everybody. If you want to vote for a show title there in the chat room, you can. frogpants.showbot.tv. For everything else we do here on the show, you can find us at frogpants.com/TMS. And for those who are looking to support the show, as always, it's much appreciated at patreon.com/TMS. And that's going to do it. We should get out of here, though, with a song of some sort. Do you have a little deal there?
I do. This one is going out to Teresa. She goes by the name Rabbit in Furt Raid. Hi, Teresa. We love your contributions in Furt, keeping me from dying and stuff. Anyway, she says, "Hey guys, September 27th will be my 40th birthday, and we are heading to Disneyland to celebrate. How about a fun road trip song? Thanks for all the years of entertainment. Like the time I was listening in the car with the windows down and Scott yelled boobs just as a motorcycle cop pulled up next to me, and community. I've made many wonderful friends in AIE and in the Facebook group."
Oh.
Now ask Scott to play a silly clip.
Oh. Okay. Let me. You know what? I'll do one no one's heard before. You ready?
Ooh, sure.
Well, let's see here. How about this one? Here we go.
He will not, because he is a good boy.
You know who that is?
Yes, that's hold on. That is
It rings a bell, doesn't it?
Sedaris. Amy Sedaris?
Nope. Here, I'm gonna try it again.
He will not, because he is a good boy.
That last bit is the giveaway.
Yes, that's the giveaway.
It is
Chenoweth?
Nope. Think older. Think Forrest Gump's mom.
Oh, that was Sally Field?
Isn't that crazy?
I would have had 100 guesses before I got to.
She was on a season 1 or maybe early season 2 episode of King of the Hill, and I had to track it down to make sure.
Interesting.
That was her.
God, it sounds just like Amy Sedaris to me. It's Amy Sedaris and Kristen Chenoweth.
Oh, yeah. You put those two together and we're all dead.
I've never seen them in the same place at the same time.
What?
Just saying.
Oh my gosh. All right.
All right. So, and I'm trying to think. I think Tetsemi and Makala are going to Disneyland with Rabbit. I think somebody from, maybe it's Ben and Sarah. Somebody's going to. Oh no! It's Randy and Sam Jane. Yeah, they're going to Disneyland with.
All right.
With Rabbit when she goes there.
Sounds good.
Makes me want to go there now, but I'm going there in a little over a month.
Yeah, a bit over a month.
Yay, hey. It's gonna be fun. Anyway, so in honor of Disney, how about a cover of a song from The Little Mermaid? where the Little Mermaid can't remember the names of anything because she's a big idiot. This is the song part. What do you call them? Oh, feet.
She is a big idiot. Oh,
Anyway.
my favorite thing you've ever
but
said.
You won't have to worry about lyrics for this version because this is a really cool Japanese cover. Now, I think he is singing in English, but it's a very, very heavily accented English. The performer is Sumitsu and the Sumith. It's actually the guy who vocals and piano. He's kind of, if you compare him to Ben Folds, I don't think anyone would be surprised. That's the connection I make. In 2006, he released an album called Man Here Plays Mean Piano, and he included this cover of The Little Mermaid's Part of Your World. Here is Sumitsu and the Sumith.
All right, we'll see you guys tomorrow for TMS with Wendy and all that. So come back then. We'll see you then.